Your first and last name, please.
My name is Deidre Prebrum.
Can you spell it for me?
Deidre Prebram.
All right. Now, you are a professor at Molloy, correct?
I'm a professor at Molloy College in the Department of Communications.
All right. But in your free time, you like to travel, or so I've heard. Is this true?
I love traveling. It's one of my favorite things to do. I like doing my own research. I like reading. I like lots of other things, but I've traveled since I was about, 18 years old, and I've been to as many places as I could possibly manage. And it's one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done. I just love it. I just love it.
What is so fulfilling about traveling? If you could try to put it in.
I think it makes you realize how small your own world and your own life is. And it also makes you realize that the way you do things is just one possible way to do it, and there are a zillion other ways to do it. It makes you step outside of yourself. I find it invigorating, but it also makes you less, worked up about all the things that have to be a certain way in our own world or in our own lives. Plus, just people are fabulous, culture is fabulous. It's just really, really interesting.
Do you have a favorite place that you have traveled to, or somewhere that you frequent the most?
Hands down, Paris. It's my favorite city, yes.
What's so great about Paris?
Wow, that's tough. I've been a Francophile for a long time. I just think the French know how to live. They know how to sit and enjoy a coffee. They know how to just enjoy life. And there's just something about it that pleases me no end. It's just my personal favorite place. But I was going to say my personal favorite landscape is a little bit different. It's desert.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What is it about the desert that you like so much? Because that is the exact opposite of me.
Well, I don't know. I don't feel it with mountains. I don't feel it with water. But I love desert. And in particular, I've been around the Sahara a few times. And in particular, I love the Sahara Desert. And the one picture that you have is actually down in the very south of Morocco, where you start to see some dunes, because it's very hard to actually find sand dunes. The actual big dunes don't happen relatively rarely, and you have to go all the way down south. And in fact, every time you see a film that's shot with sand dunes, it's in one of about 3 places, and one of them is very near that part of Morocco.
That's so funny. I was just going to ask you, so in the movies, that's not,
you
so crazy.
Yes, it's hard to find those kinds of dunes.
Is it like frequent in wind and stuff, or is that what makes them, like when it's windy, or?
I don't know. No, I don't think it's, no, I think there's just areas. The ones in the south of Morocco are called ergs, E-R-G, and they're actually pieces that have come from the Sahara further south. And I don't actually know what it looks like there. I've never been that far. On the other side of Africa, I've been further south into the Sudan. But mostly the Sahara is just very flat with nothing there. Pebbles, that's about it. No, you see nothing, no plants, no other kind of life. And I remember, again, when I went through Egypt and the Sudan many decades ago, and I remember when you start to see things like the kind of skeleton head of an animal, you realize you're getting back to civilization. There's just so nothing there. And I just think it's the evenness and the purity of it or something that I just love.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Maybe the openness too.
Yeah.
Because that's what I love about the ocean, the openness. That's so cool. What continents haven't you been to?
Australia.
I got one on you.
Antarctica. And is the Arctic a continent? No, see?
So only 2, so even a 5 out of 7.
North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa.
Australia,
yes, I've been to every other continent.
5 out of 7, that's pretty good. I'm impressed.
I've been to around, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 countries.
Oh my God, 50 countries?
Yeah, but that counts really small ones too, you know.
Okay, but still, that's as many states as we have. I haven't even been to all those. That's awesome. And then I was going to say, do you have a favorite story or a funny story from any trip, anywhere?
I have, I can give you my most recent story. Last summer, with my husband and my niece, we're the travel group right now, the three of us. We went to Vietnam and Cambodia, and which I'm also going to give you a picture of. And one of the things that we did, this was in Cambodia, was we had a water purification ceremony done by a Buddhist monk, a Cambodian Buddhist monk. And one of the reasons I'm saying this is that since last August, I've worn this this red bracelet on my wrist because that's where it comes from. And so basically, actually, the monk, he braids it and puts it on you, and you're supposed to take it off after 3 or 5 or 7 days because odd numbers are good luck. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. My niece and I both, when we came back, my husband took his off when he had to go back to work. He thought it might look a little odd with like a business suit. But my niece and I kept it on, kept them on, and hers actually fell off about sometime in this month, sometime in April, and I still can't bring myself to cut it off. I feel like it would be a bad thing to do. And it's, like I say, it was hand braided and everything, so it's getting frayed, but I shower with it, I do everything with it, and I still wear it. But the thing that and this is the picture, the thing that I loved about the ceremony was we were sitting there and they say, be prepared to, get wet. But what you don't realize is that there's a barrel of water for each of you. And the monk has like a cup or a ladling small pail that he uses. And he actually empties the entire bucket on you, ladle by ladle. And so you're sitting there and it's over 100 degrees. It's very, very humid. And then all of a sudden this freezing cold water hits you. And it keeps hitting you and it keeps hitting you all the way down. And then he chants and there's incense and I don't know what all else, but it was an amazing experience. It was really, I didn't understand what he was saying, but it was so wonderful. At any rate, we were totally drenched, and it was one of the highlights of the trip for me.
Oh my God, that is so cool. That's really cool. I had something like that. I went to New Zealand and like the native people, you don't understand what they're saying, but you feel it. It's
Yes,
like
exactly.
there are just things that words like do not
Yes.
explain, and that's so cool. Oh, I'm so jealous of you.
Actually, I speak a little French, and lots of people speak English, so I can be in contact with people. But one of the things also about traveling is this idea that you can communicate not through your regular language. And there's weird ways that this happens. I had a grandmother who didn't speak English, and we were very close to her, but we didn't have a common language. And there's something about that when you travel. There's something about just the feel of places. So I've been to quite a few Arab countries, which I love, actually. And there's just something about the call to prayer, the smell of spices, just watching life go round that makes up for not maybe it makes you pay attention to other things besides language that you might not notice otherwise.
That's a really good way to think of it. That's super awesome. All right, I think we're good. I'm just gonna have one more question and then we can wrap it up. Where would you like to go that you haven't gone yet?
Sub-Saharan Africa would be my #1 pick. I mean, I go back to places I've been. So for instance, I do go back to Europe. We're going this summer. But in terms of new places, I would like to go to Sub-Saharan Africa. I think in particular Botswana and Namibia. That's in my mind now. So,
is there anything specific there that you want to do, or you just want to check it out?
I just want to check it out. I don't know. Again, except for many, many years ago in the Sudan, I've never been below North Africa. So I would really like to go, to I don't know what it Sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.